तेजो वारिमृतं यथा विनिमयो यत्र विसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरस्तु चर्तेषु विघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृतं यथा विनिमयो यत्र विसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि Who is adventurous?
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Madhyasya yatonapyaditatanshtatesh abhignaswarat.
Madhyasya yatonapyaditatanshtatesh abhignaswarat. क्या जन्माद्यस्य यतो नवयाधिकरणस्वरात् तेजवारिमृतं यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय जन्माद्यस्य यतो नवयादितरस्ततेषु अभिघ्नस्वराट् जन्माद्यस्य यतो नवयादितरस्ततेषु अभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदया आदिमुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृतं यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा तेजो वारिमृतं यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नेक्स्ट लाइन Oh my Lord, Namaha, offering my obeisances, Bhagavate, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudevaya, unto Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva, of Lord Shri Krishna, the primeval rod.
Janma Adi.
Janma Adi,
Creation, sustains and destruction.
creation, sustenance, and destruction.
Asya.
Asya,
Of the manifested universes.
of the manifested universes.
Yata.
Yata,
From whom?
from whom?
Anavaya.
Anavaya,
Directly.
directly.
Itara.
Itara,
Indirectly.
indirectly.
Cha.
Cha,
And.
and
Arteshu.
Arteshu,
Purposes.
purpose.
Abhigna.
Abhigna,
Fully cognizant.
fully cognizant.
Swara.
Swara,
Fully independent.
fully independent.
Daiky.
Daiky,
Imparted.
imparted.
Brahma.
Brahma,
The Vedic knowledge.
the Vedic knowledge.
Vida.
Vidya,
Consciousness of the heart.
consciousness of the heart.
Yama.
Yaha,
One who.
one who,
Adi Kaveh.
Adi Kaveh,
Unto the original created being.
unto the original created being.
Muhyati.
Muhyati,
Our illusion.
our illusion.
Yet.
Yet,
About
whom?
Surya.
Surya,
Great sages and demigods.
great sages and demigods.
Teja.
Teja,
Fire.
fire,
Body.
body, water,
Rhythm.
Vidya,
Earth.
earth,
Yatha.
Yaha,
As much as.
as much as.
Vinimaya.
Vinimaya,
Action and reflection. And reaction.
action and reaction.
Yantra.
Yatra,
Whereupon.
whereupon.
Three sarga.
Three sarga.
Three modes of creation.
Three modes of creation.
Creative faculties.
Creative faculties.
Amrisha.
Amrisha,
Almost factual.
almost factual.
Bhavna.
Kamna,
Along with all transcendental faculties.
along with all transcendental faculties.
Swena.
Svena,
Self-sufficient.
self-sufficient.
Sada.
Sada,
Always.
always.
Yes.
Yes,
Negation by absence.
negation by absence.
Kuruka.
Kuruka,
Illusion.
illusion.
Satyam.
Satya,
Truth.
truth.
Param.
Param,
Absolute.
absolute.
Demon.
Demon,
I do meditate upon.
I do meditate upon.
Translation. And what divine grace is in O my Lord Shri Krishna, Son of Vasudeva.
Oh, all. Sorry.
We all recite together.
No.
Okay, let's recite together.
O my Lord Sri Krishna, Son of Vasudeva, O all-prevailing personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth, the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is through whom only who was embodied the Vedic knowledge of the heart of Brahmasi, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representation of water seen in fire, or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universe system temporarily manifested by the action of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existing in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth.
Perfect. What is that? You read the book? Yes.
You
So,
can just follow.
anyone wants to read? Okay. Yes, please.
Obeisances unto the personality of God and Vasudeva directly indicate Lord Sri Krishna, who is the divine son of Vasudeva and Daiky. This fact will be more explicitly explained in the text of this book. Sri Vasudeva asserts herein that Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and all others are his direct or indirect plenary portions or portions of the portion. Sri Ajit Goswami has even more explicitly explained the subject matter in his Krishna Sandarbha. And Brahma, the original living being, has explained the subject of Sri Krishna substantially in his treatise named Brahma Samhita. In an Upanishad in the Samveda, it is also stated that Lord Sri Krishna is the divine son of Devaki. Therefore, in this prayer, the first proposition holds that Lord Sri Krishna is the primeval Lord, and if any transcendental nomenclature is to be understood as belonging to the absolute personality of Godhead, it must be the name indicated by the word Krishna, which means the all-attractive. In Bhagavad Gita, in many places, the Lord asserts himself to be originally personality of Godhead, and this is confirmed by Arjuna and also by great sages like Narada, Vyasa, and many others. In the Padma Purana, it is also stated that out of the innumerable names of the Lord, the name of Krishna is the principal one. Vasudeva indicates the plenary portion of the personality of Godhead, and all the different forms of the Lord, being identical with Vasudeva, are indicated in this text. The name Vasudeva particularly indicates the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Sri Krishna is always meditated upon by the Paramhamsas, who are the perfected ones among those in the renounced order of life.
Do you want to read further? It's up to you.
This is an 8-page book.
No.
So by the time we're done, I'm happy with that. Maybe one more time. You can go ahead and read.
Vasudev or Lord Shri Krishna is the cause of all causes. Everything that exists emanates from the Lord. How this is so it is explained in the later chapters of this work. This work is described by Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya as the spotless Puran because it contains a transcendental narration of the personality of God in Sri Krishna. The history of the Srimad Bhagavatam is also very glorious. It was compiled by Sri Vyasadeva after he had attained maturity in transcendental knowledge. He wrote this under the instructions of Sri Naradji, his spiritual master. Vyasadeva compiled all Vedic literatures containing the four divisions of the Vedas, the Vedanta Sutras or the Brahma Sutras, the Puranas, the Mahabharata, and so on. But nevertheless, he was not satisfied. His dissatisfaction was observed by his spiritual master, and thus Narad advised him to write on the transcendental activities of Lord Sri Krishna. These transcendental activities are described specifically in the 10th canto of this work, but in order to reach to the very substance, one must proceed gradually by developing knowledge of the categories.
You want to read the second? Can we speak a little bit first and then maybe?
Yes.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Ramayam Tadati Swaradhyam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Radha Shri Guru Vaishnavamsa Shri Guru Sajajana Sadhana
Sajivam Sadvaitam Svavadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Bala
Sadhana Shri Vishakhamyamscha He Krishna Karma Sindhu Dinabandhu Chadakale Govesha Govika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurani
Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudevi Pranamami Haripriya Namaskar Kripa Sindhu Devacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravangovinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. So this is the first verse of the Bhagavatam. And the Acharyas explain that this encapsulates the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. So to do justice in 20 minutes is impossible. And Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur actually spoke on this verse for days together, just on one line of this verse, because it has so much depth, so much depth. But we're just going to skim through the surface. We'll try to skim through the surface of this verse. But I suggest that if you have any free time, please read Prabhupada's book, because it's so extensive, and try to make notes, and don't try to be discouraged, because this is your test if you can move ahead in Srimad Bhagavatam. If you can cross the first two cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, you will start to relish Srimad Bhagavatam. First two cantos is like, oh my God, what is going on? When we try to explain the creation in a little bit, brief, in a short explanation, so you understand what is going on, you understand the vastness of Krishna. You understand that when we are looking at Kirchur Govinda in this beautiful form, giving us darshan, what actually the vastness. Sometimes we also need to be in awe of the Lord, right? Sometimes we're in Rasa Bhav when we see the Lord is standing there giving us darshan, so accessible. But when we hear the first and the second canto verses, we realize the awe, the glamour, the vaibhav of the Supreme Personality of God, which makes us careful, conscious, and also we realize our insignificant position. I want to tell you one joke. So there was a devotee friend of mine. Her name was Priya, and her name is present. And we were sitting in our Raghunath Maharaj's room. We were just talking, and she just was in a humility mode, and she said, "Oh Maharaj, I'm so fallen. I'm the most fallen." And she was talking, Maharaj was just listening. She went on for 5 minutes, and she was explaining in her humility. And Maharaj looked at her with intense eyes. He said, "You cannot be most of anything. Remember, you cannot be most beautiful. You cannot be most fallen. You are simply insignificant." Okay. That is our position. And the first two cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam very, very authoritatively declare our insignificance in compared to the Param-Purusha, Krishna. So we take one line and we try to do some justice to it. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We celebrated Narasimha Chaturdashi yesterday. This is the Dwalakshar mantra, 12-syllable mantra that Prahlad Maharaj was given by Narasimha. And this is the mantra that he chanted. This is how we begin our Bhagavatam class. Our Shravana begins by this Dwalakshar, 12-syllable mantra. The next line over here is Janma Adi. Janma is what? Birth. In this context, it is creation, creating anything. Even when we try to create, we cannot really create anything because we have to take ingredients from nature, which is created by the Supreme Personality of God. So the original creator is always Krishna. So even if we say we're going to make, nowadays you can make babies in test tubes also, IVF treatments, all of these. And it's a wonderful thing that the science has progressed to that extent. But can they create a baby without the ingredients that are provided by the Supreme Personality. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. So the original creator, no matter how much advancement we make, is always going to be Parampurusha Krishna. Okay? Here is in Janma and Adi, etc. Etc. is what? Maintenance and destruction, annihilation. So Janma, the Lord empowers Brahma to a certain extent to do some sort of creation. And for destruction, he engages Lord Shiva. But for maintenance, he appears personally as Vishnu. You know what? How easy it is to start something? Is it easy? Let's start a program tomorrow. And how much easier it is to finish a program? Wrap it up. You just need to be mean to everyone in the program. Yeah? But how difficult is it to maintain anything? Whether it's relationships, whether it's program, whether it's your sadhana, whether it is your vows, how difficult, because it takes a lot of goodness, sattva guna. And that is why Lord Vishnu himself takes responsibility for it. Yes? So here they say Janma Adi Asya. And Prabhupada over here, he translates Asya as the manifested universes. Asya. Just imagine the universes in one little word, Asya. Does everybody know how the creation takes place? Briefly. We'll go through briefly. Make a note of this. Because this is, I'm going to tell you in a very simple context. Your entire second canto in a simple context. So Krishna expands into Balaram. And Balaram expands into the four. Who are the four forms? Govinda, Anil. Very good. Everybody's with me? Right? What happens after that?
Again for the same personality. Again,
So from Sankarshan again,
same for personality. Sorry.
from Sankarshan will come. So from Krishna comes Balaram, Balaram comes all the four children. From Sankarshan will again come.
For same personality.
Yes. And then from Sankarshan comes Mahavishnu, which we also know as Karno Dakshayi Vishnu, who is laying in the Karno ocean. Yes? There is only one Mahavishnu. And what is Mahavishnu doing? Only breathing. That's his job. Just breathe. Lay in the Karno ocean and breathe. He breathes out universes. And he breathes in universes. Can you imagine the magnitude? When you breathe, what happens? Nothing. But, and we sometimes, and just imagine the illusion Hiranyakashipu came up with an eyeball. You have to be so covered in your intelligence to even think that. Here, Karma Dakshayi Vishnu is just laying, breathing universes coming out in millions from his pores. Then what does he do? He enters each universe as Garbo Dakshayi Vishnu. Garba means to enter. Okay? So he enters each universe with as Garbo Dakshayi Vishnu. What does he do there? He fills half the universe. With what? Just perspiration. Can you perspire so much? Half the universe is filled with perspiration. And then he lays down. And from his navel, so now there was only one Mahavishnu. But in every universe there becomes a Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Right? You remember the pastime? Do you know this pastime when Krishna is sitting in Dwarka and the guard comes and says, the Brahma is standing outside. And go and tell Krishna Brahma has come. In arrogance, right? Brahma has come. So the guard goes inside and tells Krishna Brahma has come. So Krishna says, which Brahma? And here we think Govinda is big. Right? There Krishna is telling which Brahma. So he goes back, which Brahma are you? He's like, I am Chatur. Four-headed Brahma I am. You don't know me? And immediately Krishna falls on all the Brahmas. Some have 10 heads, some have 15, some have 6, some have 4. And he's completely bewildered. He did not even know that so many Brahmas exist. So, over here, from the navel of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu comes Brahma. And Brahma creates the how many planetary systems? 14 planetary systems. Where do we live? Middle. What is the name of it? Bhuloka. The Bhumanda we live in Bhuloka. Yes? And then the Lord expands as Shirodakshaya Vishnu into every atom, every molecule, and he also expands as Paramatma within the heart of each and every living entity. So who is the original source? Krishna. Even though Brahma is creating the 14 planetary systems, but who is actually the source of Brahma? Krishna. That is why this verse says that Janma Adi Asya is the original source. We have just finished one word of this verse. It's such an expansive verse. That is the understanding. It's just a glimpse. And now, even when the demigods want to see, where do they go to? Yes, and sometimes you hear, right? They're at the bank of Shirodakshaya Vishnu, Milk Ocean. They go to the Milk Ocean when they are in super problems. Dharma, Dharma. Yes. Please save us, protect us. So the demigods, even their access is to Shirodakshaya Vishnu. And our companion, who has traveled every journey, every birth we have taken with us in the form of Paramatma, is the expansion of Shirodakshaya Vishnu. He was there with us even when we were a worm in the stew, when we were a pig, a dog, male, female, no matter which body we have, the Lord accompanied us. The next word we hear, I'm going to skip, but let's read. Let's take 2 or 3 concepts from this verse because there's just no way I can do justice to this in 10 minutes. So you're saying Krishna is also directly and indirectly cognizant. Right? The word cognizant is used here. Cognizant means knows everything. Aware. Yes. He's aware of everything. How is he directly aware? He's in our hearts, for example. Right? And how is he indirectly aware? Through the Dikpalas, the Chatur Dikpalas. Who are the Chatur Dikpalas? Anybody knows? The directions: north, south, east, west. What are their names? Indra controls the east. Varuna controls the west. Kubera controls the north. And Yama controls the south. If anybody has studied Vastu, they must have heard these names. Okay? Where does Vastu come from? It comes from Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Dikpalas, these are the four Dikpalas, the primary cardinal directions. And then there are the sub directions, where there is Ishan, Agni. Ishan is northeast, Agni is southeast, right? Nairitya is southwest, Vayu is northwest. Then Akash and Bhumi. So the 10 agents, many times they say, oh, nobody will find out if I smoke a cigarette. Are you kidding me? You're holding fire in your hand. Fire is one of the Dikpalas. He's the one that carries the information. So if we think we may be able to get away with the laws of the state and the government, can you get away from Vayu? Can you get away from Agni? Can you get away from Bhumi? Akash? So what we are, Krishna is fully cognizant. We may cheat few people for some time, but we cannot cheat Krishna because he is fully cognizant directly and indirectly. As Paramatma within our heart, he guides us based on our deepest desires. Yes. It is amazing how hard it is to even try to be Paramatma. I can tell you that. Because Paramatma is in your heart and he's seen you do all kinds of nonsense. And he's your well-wisher. And he's still tolerating and giving you your free will. Try this. I experienced when I was raising my teenage boys. I experienced what it means to be Paramatma. Really? That was like deep realization. I was thinking, this is what it means to be Paramatma. You let them have free will because now they're grown. You are their well-wisher and you continue to see them do nonsense. And you still have to be encouraging. That is the role Paramatma's playing. And I said, I cannot even play for 5, 10 years. And Krishna has successfully never given up on me. That was my hope of living through my teenage years of the children. And Krishna never gave up on me. So how beautifully Krishna is cognizant while being a well-wisher, remaining within our heart. Just imagine every time you think something bad, Krishna is fully aware. There is no hiding. Anytime you think you can get away, you think power is aware to communicate to Krishna. He is fully cognizant. Then the third word. Let's look at this one word which is called Swarat. Means what? Swarat. Fully independent. My husband calls me Swarat many times. That's not in the right reference. It's more of a, you come to Swarat. But But Swarat actually means fully independent. Does not have to listen. Like yesterday we discussed, Brahma gave so many benedictions to Daiky, right? But he's answerable to someone. He was answerable to Nrsimhadev and answerable to Krishna. But if Krishna wanted, he didn't have to be. He didn't have to. He could have killed him as Lord Ramchandra if he wanted. He could have killed him as whoever he wanted. He could have just sat there and breathed, and Hiranyakashipu would have dissolved. That's all he had to do. But at the same time, he chose because he's Swarat. When Indra tormented the Brajavasis with torrents of rains and something of clouds bursting and inundating Braja, right? He immediately forgave Indra. Indra almost wanted to kill the Brajavasis. But as soon as Indra came in front, they took Surabhi with him, Govinda could, that's it. Krishna was like, okay, forgive it. No, no problem. But Brahma, all he did is just stole the cowherd boys and calves for 1 minute of his time, which is 1 year. Right? He didn't even want to kill them. But Krishna decided, I'm not going to talk to you. Why? What is this? Why did he decide I'm not going to talk to you?
Because Indra brought away brothers together and he separated.
Yes, the acharyas definitely give us that example that when Indra he tormented everyone, the Brajavasis, they all came closer together. But at the same time, when Brahma he took away the devotees. The acharyas give this example. But if you look at a definition, okay, like if you go to the court of law, if somebody committed a crime, he stole 100 rupees or $100 or Canadian dollars in India. You get 6 months probation, whatever, right? And she stole 6, but I say no, you only get 1 year. But Krishna is Swarat. He does not need to follow the law. The acharyas give an example. They give the understanding of why he did that. But according to, he doesn't have to follow any rules and regulations. There's no law about him. He is Swarat. He can decide what he wants to do, how he wants to do. He wants to take a form. Yesterday we saw the beautiful 9 forms of Govinda. He decided to take the form of Varaha. He could have transformed himself into Varaha and gone down into the earth and again got the Vedas. But he said, no, too much trouble. Let me just do Varaha. You follow. He is Swarat, independent, can do what he wants. Over here, it is said that not only is he Swarat, but he also gave all the knowledge that Brahman received by this one word over here. It says, Tene Hriday Adi Kavai. He gave all the knowledge of the creation, how to manifest the creation to Brahma within his heart. All Brahma had to do was meditate. He kept traveling the stem. Yes? Figuring out where am I? And then he just sat down and Krishna within his heart. So anytime when we are confused, don't keep traveling. Don't be restless with the mind. Situate your mind, compose yourself, and try to really hear what the Bhagavad wants to tell us. Because he is telling us. He is definitely speaking with us. All of these pastimes are not for us to just to hear, but it's to actually imbibe in our lives. Try that. I've tried it. Whenever I'm extremely disturbed in business, and I'm trying here, there, and everything, you just surrender. What did Draupadi do? She tried everything first. First, she tried to hold the sari by herself. Then she tried to call on to everybody in the assembly that she thought could save. And finally, she said, you know what? I give up. And the minute she gave up and she raised her arms high up in the sky with surrender, what happened? Krishna provided. Yes, you can always check. Krishna provided and appeared in the form of unlimited cloth for her. This is what it explains, that Brahma was inspired within the heart to do what he was supposed to do. We can also be inspired within our heart to do what we are supposed to do. Yes? My time is up. Yes? Is it? Okay. Questions? Yes.
Actually, it just came into my mind, like, if Krishna is Paramatma, so why do, like, in every reincarnation we go to Brahmaji and we say our deepest desires, and according to that he gives us the, like, everything, like the location, everything, like where you're going to be born and everything. So I'm just thinking, like, why are we not influenced by Paramatma and just get into spirituality and be liberated? Because after that also we always have some or the other desires we're going to Brahmaji.
So what happens is that we develop desires within our mind and our heart. First it appears in our mind, right? Like I may think that, oh, this looks so good, I want to do this. It appears in our mind. Then we try to act. Then when we constantly meditate upon it, it takes a form of a seed, which will fructify. Same thing happens with our karma. We can do a particular action. Some actions take form of seeds that can fructify in 6 months. Some take a form of a fruit that can fructify in 10 years. There's a story that comes in Mahabharata, which I'll tell you in a bit. But when we don't have to go to Brahma, he knows through the digmas, through our desires. Not only our desire is important, but we should also have enough bank balance. Right? I may desire a Rolls Royce. I may say Rolls Royce, Rolls Royce, Rolls Royce. I may desire a Rolls Royce. But do I have enough bank balance to buy that Rolls Royce? Similarly, I may desire a very high elevated body. But do I have enough bank balance to have that kind of body? But as far as practicing spirituality, there is a beautiful verse. Brahmanda Bhamite Kola Bhagyavanaji Guru Krishna Prasad Bhai Bhakti Tata. So Brahmanda Bhamite, we are roaming Brahmanda. Bhamite, so many jivas, we are roaming from one birth to the next birth to the Kono Bhagyavanaji. Bhagyavan means supremely, unlimitedly lucky. Lucky does not have any qualification. You are lucky. Guru, Krishna, Prasad. What is Prasad? Mercy. Mercy means what? Something we are not qualified to receive. You can never become qualified. So we were never qualified. We might have just had a little sincerity. Nityananda Prabhu says, Shraddha Mule Ve. Only little sincerity we can have. But Brahmanda Brahmita Kona Bhagyavana Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasad Pai. What do we receive as mercy? Bhakti Lata Beach. Now we have only received this seed. Now you use your free will and you decide what and how you are going to care for this seed. How much water you are going to give it, how much protection you are going to give it. And you know one very beautiful thing that I always think, that why they said Bhakti Lata. Can you guess? I always wonder, because in Chaitanya Charitamrita, they explains that devotion is a tree, right? The branches, Nityananda Prabhu, Mahaprabhu, their branches, like Nityananda Prabhu is one branch. It explains the whole tree. But why in this verse it is said, Guru Krishna Prasad by Bhakti Lata? Lata's translation is creeper. And I was thinking and thinking and thinking. And I said, what is the nature of a creeper? If you will see, if you plant any kind of money plant or any creeper, one quality of the creeper is it needs some support. Right? It grows healthy and it grows faster if you give it support. And the second nature of a creeper is it is very creepy. One time I did not give it support and it started to grow on my fence. And I tried to pull it out. And I realized how hard and how stubborn it was. It was so clinged. That is how we need to practice Krishna consciousness. That is the word Lata has been used, that we need to provide support system to our Bhakti Lata beach. Now we have received this mercy causelessly. But what we do with this mercy is your free will. You can decide, you control what you are going to do with this free will. This mercy that you received as Bhakti Lata. You are going to water it, you are going to protect it, and that is why we say Bhakti Lata is very tender, soft, gentle. We need it to grow so tall that it crosses the layers of material existence and reaches the lotus feet of Krishna. That is how strong, tall we need a creeper tree. So we need to protect it from the mad elephant offense. Can you imagine you have a creeper and then we commit this mad elephant offense, which is Vaishnava Prana? Completely crumple our Bhakti Lata. But then also we give it good support system. Like even yesterday I was saying, have at least 2 or 3 devotees in our life that when we are going a little off track, they act as our GPS and bring us back. And we are not offended by that. And they are not, we don't consider that a Vaishnava Pran, and they are not hesitant to correct us. So it is our responsibility to create a support system for us and to protect this Bhakti Lata beach that we have got as prasad. We were never qualified and we will never be qualified. It is prasad because of Guru Krishna's that we have received this. So it is utmost importance to protect it, nourish it, till it reaches the lotus feet of Krishna. Does that help you? Yes.
Mataji, in that example that you're talking about from my Indra, right? Like I was just thinking, it's not like Indra knew that, I'm going to torment these people and then, Krishna will lift the burden and bring them together. his intention was destructive, that I'm going to go and mess with these people. With Brahma, he was challenging the authority of the Lord, that he is drinking old food like lassi or whatever, and how can he? His intention was not to separate his, camaraderie, like to go and just mess up his friends or whatever. So at the same time, on the other spectrum, we also hear that Krishna is Bhagavad Janardana. He picks up what's positive. So then, how much of this is just ordained, that is Leela, that Krishna just wanted to just prove a point, or just how much of that is in our control? If I had to like transpose this to myself, that I didn't intend to do this, but that's what the intent. It had a domino effect, and now I'm screwed because
See, that is why Krishna is Swaran. He can do what he wants. What he did, when Brahma took the calves and he said, okay, go ahead. There, I expand myself into everybody. I'm self-sufficient. That is another word in this verse. I'm self-sufficient. He actually needs no one. He is complete. He's completely self-sufficient. But at the same time, we have to understand. Many times we say we may read Bhagavatam, we may read Bhagavad Gita every single day. But can we really know about Krishna? We cannot know Krishna till the time he wants to be known by us. We can never know. We can never have realizations. We can recite thousands of shlokas by heart. No problem. That is scholarly influence. But we can know about Krishna, we cannot know Krishna till he desires so. And the responsibility of a devotee is to be patient, to be aligned with Krishna's will. And the more and more we practice devotion, what happens is without us knowing only, our will becomes aligned with Krishna's will automatically. Because Paramatma's influence in our life becomes so strong that we call it my sixth sense, my gut feeling, my gut says this. No, gut, no, nothing. It's Krishna within your heart. You can call it whatever name you want. Sixth sense or intuition or whatever. It is Krishna within the heart that's there. In fact, the Acharyas explained that in the spiritual world in Guru Vrindavan, Mother Yashoda soaked dosa batter in the night. She said, I'm going to make dosas for Krishna tomorrow morning. And Krishna wakes up and he says, you know what, I feel like eating poha. So Mother Yashoda wakes up in the morning, she says, you know what, I'm not making dosa, I'll make poha. Not that there's any communication, but because you are so in sync with Krishna's pleasure, that it's just automatic. You become aligned with Krishna. That is seamless. To get that perfection, first we need to put effort in being aligned with Guru and Krishna's will. And when we start putting that effort, Krishna sees from the side and he says, 10 more years, I will decide. But he's Swaraj. He left Dhruva Maharaj, gave his darshan in 6 months. For some, it can be lifetimes. Our responsibility is to not give up. What is he going to do? He will not give. He's stubborn, I'm also. Right? I'm your part and parcel. So, when we show that stubbornness in our devotional life, Krishna will have to sin. Because he's bound by sincerity. But he's Swaraj. He may decide what he wants to do. So, before Subhadra tells me I cannot give any more Bhagavad classes, what is the next? Should we stop here? Yes. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
I have to be finish this work.
That's okay.
Tomorrow we are free and Surya is not. Oh. These are Prabhupada.
Awesome.